Hi, goddess. Let's talk about jealousy. So sit down. All right. So today we're going to talk about jealousy because jealousy has been a very requested topic. And I have a different viewpoint on jealousy and I want to talk about it. So, like I said, sit down. People love to pretend that they've never felt jealous before. And I'm going to be honest with you, that is not true. That is not true. Every human being has felt jealousy at some point in their life. And I actually think that jealousy gets demonized way too much because jealousy, like anger, like sadness, like fear, is an emotion. It's a signal. And the problem isn't that people feel jealousy. Problem is that people do not know how to understand it. So instead of trying to understand it, they demonize it because they demonize what they don't know. So they either pretend they don't feel it or they let it turn them into a bitter person. And those are two very different paths. Because when you experience jealousy, what you're really experiencing is comparison. You see something in someone else that activates something inside of you. Maybe it's their beauty, maybe it's their confidence, maybe it's their lifestyle, maybe it's the way people treat them. Maybe it's their discipline, their body, their success, their relationship. And something in your mind goes, why them? Why not me? Why them and why not me? Now, the reality is that most people do not like admitting that thought. But I want you to understand that that thought is very human. Like I always express on here passionately, none of us escape the human experience. If you really sit down and think about it, jealousy is basically your awareness noticing that someone else has something that you do not have yet. But part of you wishes that you did. And that's why I don't think that jealousy is a bad emotion. I actually think that jealousy can be a very powerful mirror for you. Because when you feel jealousy, it forces you to ask yourself a very honest question. What about this person is triggering me? What do they have that a part of me secretly wants and desires? Sometimes jealousy is just your soul pointing to you something that you desire. And if you know, we talk about owning our desires because it's crucial. When you own what you desire, you embrace, you build the confidence to open up your mouth and speak and ask for them. You see a woman who's confident, free, and living life on her terms, and something inside you lights up. That's your body giving you signals. That's your intuition speaking to you in form of emotions. You see someone who built a successful business. You see someone who takes care of their body. You see someone who's loved well in their relationship. And you think, I want that too. And that is jealousy. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because that emotion can actually motivate growth if you look at it from the right perspective. It can push you to become better. It can waken you up. It can force you to have an ego death. But there's another emotion that people confuse jealousy with. And that one is much darker. And that's the one that you need to beware of. That emotion is envy. And jealousy and envy are not the same thing. Jealousy usually sounds like this. I wish I had that too. And if you really listen to that, there's a sense of admiration in that statement. There's a mix of admiration, curiosity, and sometimes even inspiration. And those are positive things. But envy sounds very different. Envy sounds like if I can't have it, you shouldn't have it either. If I can't have it, you can't have it. I don't want you to have it. And an envious person, they don't just want what you have. They want you to lose it. They don't want you to have it. They want to see you fall. They want to see your life crumble so they can feel better about themselves. So they don't have to feel like a loser. And that is a completely different energy. Jealousy can push someone to grow. Envy pushes people to destroy. And if you ever had someone in your life who was envious of you, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There are people who smile in your face but celebrate when things are going hard for you or not going out or working out for you. The people who gossip about you, the people who start resenting you more, your life improves. And sometimes the craziest part is that those people once upon a time admired you. Because this is another truth that people do not talk about. The same reason people love you is often the same reason why they start hating you later on. Someone might love your confidence at first, but if they never build their own confidence, eventually that same thing is going to start triggering them. Someone might admire your discipline, but if they never develop discipline in their own life, that same trait starts making them uncomfortable. Your light becomes a mirror, and some people do not like what that mirror shows them about themselves. So instead of elevating themselves, they try to dim your light. This happens in friendships, it happens at work, it happens with your romantic relationships. And the reality is that sometimes when you start evolving, glowing up, getting in shape, setting boundaries, becoming more confident, getting your money up, people around you start acting weird. Not because you changed in a bad way, but because you change in a way that forces them to confront themselves. And not everyone is ready to do that. Now, let's talk about the other side of this. When you feel jealousy yourself, because now, be honest with yourself, you have probably felt that too. And that is okay. The question isn't whether you feel jealousy. The question is, what do you do with it? Because a mature person uses jealousy as self-awareness. They ask themselves, why is this triggering me? Is there something in this person I admire? Is there something in their life that I want for myself? And instead of tearing that person down, they use that as motivation. But an immature person does the opposite. They let jealousy turn into resentment. They start gossiping. They start criticizing. They start hating on someone who did nothing to them. And that is when jealousy turns into envy. So the goal isn't to pretend you never feel jealous. The goal is to become conscious enough to understand what the emotion is showing you. Because jealousy sometimes is just your soul telling you there's more that you want for your life. And there's nothing wrong with that. But envy is when people stop trying to build their own life and start trying to tear someone else's down. Jealousy can create growth, envy creates destruction. And learning the difference between these two different emotions will teach you a lot about other people and a lot about yourself. And this is also why doing inner work is deeply important, because when a woman feels deeply secure within herself, jealousy doesn't control her anymore. She can look at another woman and think, that's beautiful, that's inspiring, and that is possible for me too, without shrinking herself, without comparing, or without feeling threatened. But when a woman is disconnected from herself, when her nervous system is chaotic, when her self-worth is fragile, when she's not grounded in her identity and who she is as an individual, everything around her feels like competition. Every beautiful woman, it's a comparison trap, because they're threatened. Every successful woman is intimidating to her. Every relationship feels like a reminder of what she doesn't have. And that is exhausting, because the truth is, comparison comes from disconnection. When you reconnect with yourself, your body, your self-worth, your standards, your direction, you stop looking around so much and you start building a life within your own. Remember what I tell you. Your intuition is your life coach. Learn how to shut down and listen to it. Learn how to shut the noise of the world and listen to it. And that's actually one of the reasons I created the Feminine Reset. Because the goal isn't to suppress emotions like jealousy. The goal is to understand yourself so deeply that those emotions become teachers instead of wounds. The Feminine Reset walks you through reconnecting yourself to your nervous system, your body, and your identity as a woman, which is your femininity and your inner masculine, so you can stop operating from insecurity, emotional chaos, instability, and comparison, and start operating from your grounded feminine power. Because when a woman is truly rooted in herself, another woman's light does not threaten her. It just reminds her what's possible. I hope this video helped. I hope I gave you clarity, and I love you. And if you're ready for a reset, the link is in my bio. Mwah. Bye.